Hey, you there. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:35 a.m. on Friday, December 13th, 2019. Friday the 13th. Oh no. I'm Christiana Ellison and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I'm actually feeling a little bit blah this morning. I hope I'm not coming down with something, but whatever. I definitely didn't give myself, like, I needed. Yesterday, my intention was to let myself have a slower evening and go to bed early, which I more or less did. And, but I did play a little bit more Death Stranding. I didn't stream this time just because I kind of, it's like I'm not always in a mood to be on, so to speak, and just kind of wanted to chill with the game. It continues to be really interesting, like in ways that I have come to expect from Hideo Kojima games. Like there wasn't any huge new development in last night's session that I'm excited to talk about or anything. It's more or less just like, yep, it's still doing that weird stuff, but I like it. There's just a feel to it that I enjoy. Yeah, and I also have been very slowly making my way through the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance TV show. And, it's interesting. I really like it. So I'll start there. So let me just, before I say anything that might seem even a little bit critical, let me preface by saying that the final sum total of my opinion is that I really like it. But it's interesting from a storytelling perspective that I wonder how much the writing was informed by the pros and cons of using the Muppets instead of, having like obviously like human actors say versus CGI or something like that. Because there's got to be, like, I suspect that there's, like, first of all, you can see a lot of the various um, personal customization of appearance that uh, you have between the different gelflings. In some cases, is probably used to try to make them look more different to one another when they might, many of them all share kind of the same face mold. So if these two gelfling have the same face mold, how do you make them look different? Well, you have to do the hair differently. Then maybe you wear different like eyeshadow, that stuff. But also just the basic elements of what facial expressions do you need them to make, right? And you want to try to write a story that lends itself to the characters having to make facial expressions that your Muppets are good at making. And I have to imagine that played a role, right? When they're writing these scripts, they couldn't have just done it. Well, I mean, theoretically, they could have, but I'm sure they didn't do it just like totally agnostically of like, let's write a script as though they can do anything 100% easily versus the idea of saying, well, this is a nice moment in the script, and we are confident that we have excellent Muppeteers, and yet the nuance of emotion that might be required in that moment might be difficult to convey with the Gelfling Muppet. And I wonder about that. Like, I wonder how much that informed the writing. Because I think a skilled puppeteer or muppeteer or whatever the term would be in that context can obviously do amazing things with the physicality of the performance and convey wonderful emotion. Like, and by and large, I think the idea of knowing that so much of what we see on screen in that show is very tangible and real is exciting. But there are also times where it's like, well, there's only so much you can do with the body language when the face is got a limited range of movement, right? And it's not bad. Again, like, this is why I wanted to preface with saying I really like it. I'm just thinking about, from a storytelling perspective, how it's it's a more nuanced example of how different mediums tell different kinds of stories. And so even within the medium of a TV show, you tell different kinds of stories with animation versus live action. And then, you know, puppetry is this whole third thing. It's interesting. In any event, I'm not done with the season yet, but, you know, got to the big Act 2 turn, which I won't spoil. And yeah, I like it. So I'm going to leave it there for right now, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.